The headlines might focus on inflation, but they completely ignore the silent, inflammatory warfare waging inside your kitchen cupboard. You are being sold industrial lubricants, masquerading as wholesome cooking ingredients. Here at Brit Food Watch, we have peeled back the labels to expose the specific UK brands hiding the darkest secrets. We have found heart-healthy sprays composed of silicone plastics, premium-priced bottles diluted with genetically modified filler, and trusted household names that become damaging to DNA the moment they hit a hot pan. This investigation goes beyond simple nutrition. It is about deception. We are counting down the 7 most dangerous vegetable oils sold in British supermarkets today. You need to stay until the very end, because the number one offender is a product so common it is likely sitting next to your cooker right now, slowly poisoning your family with every single meal. Home Pride vegetable oil, 100% genetically modified organisms. That is the precise composition of the oil currently frying millions of British takeaways. While it sits innocuously on supermarket shelves, this brand is the industrial backbone of the British fast food sector. It is the invisible ingredient in millions of deep-fried meals, and its ubiquity is not due to taste or health. It is due to aggressive cost-cutting. We are not talking about a traditional crop carefully harvested for quality. We are talking about a genetically modified organism, engineered for resistance to heavy pesticide application and maximized yield. By bottling this and selling it as a standard cooking oil, Home Pride introduces genetically modified organisms directly into the domestic food supply, bypassing the scrutiny that usually accompanies such controversial ingredients. But the danger goes beyond the genetic modification. The chemical profile of soybean oil is a metabolic disaster waiting to happen. It is excessively high in linoleic acid, a specific type of omega-6 fatty acid. While the human body needs tiny amounts of this fat, Home Pride delivers it in a torrential flood. When consumed in the quantities encouraged by deep frying, whether in your kitchen or your local chip shop, this oil acts as a systemic pro-inflammatory agent. Think of inflammation as a fire. Omega-3s are the water that puts it out. Omega-6 fatty acids are the gasoline that fuels it. Home Pride is pure gasoline. This chronic low-grade inflammation is now recognized by researchers as a root cause of metabolic dysfunction and the modern obesity epidemic. It is not just about the calories, it is about the signal this oil sends to your cells. It tells your body to store fat and remain in a state of stress. The betrayal here is economic. Takeaways and budget-conscious shoppers use Home Pride because it is cheap. But that low price tag comes with a devastating biological cost. It is an oil that actively works against your metabolic health, turning a simple meal into a driver for long-term chronic disease. You are saving pennies at the checkout, but paying for it with your body's ability to regulate itself. Flora sunflower oil. The branding promises natural vitality and sunshine. The chemistry delivers a pro-inflammatory cocktail linked to Alzheimer's. The problem lies in the molecular structure of the oil itself. Sunflower oil is exceptionally high in omega-6 fatty acids. While the human body requires a delicate balance of omega-3 and omega-6 to function correctly, the modern British diet is already drowning in the latter. Pouring this oil into your pan throws that balance into chaotic disarray, fueling a state of chronic, low-grade, systemic inflammation that acts as the engine for modern disease. But the threat escalates dramatically the moment you turn on the hob. Unlike stable saturated fats, the polyunsaturated fats in flora are chemically fragile. They simply cannot withstand the thermal stress of frying. When this oil hits high temperatures, it does not just get hot, it degrades. It undergoes rapid oxidation, fracturing at the molecular level to spawn a new generation of compounds known as toxic aldehydes. Chief among these is acrolein. It is not a nutrient. It is a hazardous chemical compound, also found in cigarette smoke and car exhaust. Research suggests that consuming foods fried in thermally degraded sunflower oil exposes your cells to these aldehydes, which act as forensic vandals inside your body. They are capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier and have been chemically linked to the cellular damage associated with Alzheimer's disease and cardiovascular failure. The betrayal here is the intended use. Flora knows you are not just spooning this over a cold salad, they know you are frying with it. They are selling you a product that turns toxic under the very conditions it is designed to be used in. While they tout the vitamin E content, they conveniently omit the fact that high-heat cooking obliterates the oil's stability, replacing vitamins with DNA-damaging toxins. You are paying for the promise of natural vitality, but you are cooking with a liquid that is chemically predisposed to attack your gut lining and neural pathways. If you have this bottle next to your cooker, you are essentially playing chemistry roulette with your long-term health. If the name evokes the olive groves of Tuscany, why is the bottle filled with 85% industrial seed oil? The name itself is a calculated phonetic trap designed to sound like olive oil and to evoke images of rustic Italian groves and heart-healthy Mediterranean diets. But flip the bottle over, and the forensic reality reveals one of the most brazen dilutions in the British food industry. This is not olive oil. It is a vegetable oil blend, a clever legal definition that allows the manufacturer to sell industrial filler at a premium price. The dilution ratio is staggering. The product contains approximately 85% industrial seed oil and only 15% actual olive oil. You are not buying the liquid gold of the Mediterranean. You are buying a vat of cheap rapeseed, also known as canola, and palm oil that has been merely dressed up with a splash of olive oil for marketing legitimacy. The betrayal here is nutritional theft. Consumers reach for olive oil specifically for its medicinal properties, the polyphenols, the antioxidants, and the stability of the fats. But in Olivio, these benefits are chemically obliterated. The base oils, rapeseed and palm, undergo heavy industrial refining, a process involving high heat and chemical deodorizers that strip away the delicate antioxidants found in authentic extra virgin olive oil. You are paying for a health product but receiving a dead oil. Worse still is the biological bait and switch. Authentic olive oil is prized for its neutral anti-inflammatory profile. Olivio, however, is an inflammatory omega-6 fatty acid bomb. By swapping out the stable monounsaturated fats of real olive oil for the unstable polyunsaturated fats of rapeseed, this blend actively works against the health goals of the consumer. High consumption of these refined omega-6 fatty acids, without the balancing counterpart of omega-3 fatty acids, drives the body into a pro-inflammatory state linked to the very chronic diseases people buy olive oil to avoid. The inclusion of that 15% olive oil is not for your health. It is a legal fig leaf. It exists solely to justify the green label and the deceptive name. When you buy Olivio, you are paying a premium for a psychological trick. You are being sold to the idea of olive oil while actually consuming the cheap, processed runoff of the industrial agriculture system. It is a masterclass in how a brand name can be used to hide the chemical reality of the product inside. Purer vegetable oil, varnish-like polymers accumulating in the gut lining. That is the hidden biological cost of an oil engineered for extended fry life. Pura achieves this unnatural longevity not through superior quality, but through heavy industrial refining and the addition of E900 dimethylpolysiloxane. E900 is a silicone-based anti-foaming agent. Its primary job is to stop the oil from bubbling and smoking when it becomes degraded. In a natural state, oil smokes to warn you it is breaking down and becoming toxic. Pura effectively silences this alarm system. By preventing the smoke, the chemical encourages you to push the oil far beyond its safe biological limit, turning your deep fryer into a reactor for invisible toxins. The result is the accumulation of polar compounds. When vegetable oil is reused, as Pura encourages, it undergoes a violent chemical degradation. The fats polymerize, forming a varnish-like substance that is chemically similar to plastics. These polar compounds act as aggressive inflammatory agents that erode the gut lining and assault the liver, which must work over time to filter out these non-food polymers. They are forensic dynamite. Furthermore, the high-heat industrial deodorization required to make this oil tasteless creates small amounts of trans fats. While often low enough to be rounded down to zero on the nutritional label due to regulatory loopholes, they are present. You are introducing these arterial scarring agents into your body under the guise of a pure vegetable product. Pura is not designing oil for your health. They are designing it for fry life, prioritizing the endurance of the chemical over the endurance of your heart. Aster. Vegetable oil. Strict transparency is demanded by modern consumers. Yet this generic label legally allows the retailer to play recipe roulette with your health to protect their margins. The generic labeling allows the retailer to source the cheapest available refined oil on the global market, usually rapeseed, without ever being locked into a consistent crop. They are not selling you food, they are selling you a commodity that fluctuates based on the lowest bidder. This ambiguity is a direct threat to consumer safety. Because the source crop is not strictly defined on the front of the bottle, the liquid inside becomes a forensic mystery. This recipe roulette makes it nearly impossible for allergy sufferers to track potential cross-contamination or for health-conscious shoppers to verify GMO origins. You are trusting a supply chain that prioritizes penny pinching over transparency. If the market price of a specific crop spikes, the oil in that bottle can change, and you would never know until the inflammation sets in. The liquid itself is a triumph of industrial sterilization over nutrition. To make this mishmash of seeds palatable, the oil undergoes a brutal refining process called refined, bleached, and deodorized. It is stripped of every ounce of flavor, color, and nutrient until it is little more than a viscous, clear calorie vehicle. What remains is a high-fat cocktail containing around 7.3% saturated fat, but the real danger lurks in its invisible profile. This oil is aggressively high in omega-6 fatty acids. While essential in trace amounts, the modern British body is already drowning in them. By using this oil as a staple, you are displacing critical anti-inflammatory omega-3s, fueling a biological fire that burns quietly in your tissues. This imbalance is a known driver of chronic disease, yet Aster markets this product as a kitchen essential. The betrayal is total. They have taken a complex natural product, chemically lobotomized it to remove all evidence of its origin, and sold it back to you under a generic label that legally absolves them of telling you exactly what you are eating. It is the ultimate generic product for a genericized, unhealthy population. You are not cooking with nature, you are cooking with an industrial variable. KTC vegetable oil, bioengineered to survive lethal doses of herbicide. That is the unnatural origin of the soy filling these budget containers today. KTC is a staple in British cupboards, often bought in bulk for its low price, but what you are actually purchasing is a masterclass in industrial corner cutting. This is not a product grown for nutrition, it is manufactured for profit. The primary ingredient hiding behind that generic green label is often genetically modified soy. This is not the soybeans of yesterday. This is a crop bioengineered to survive being drenched in powerful herbicides. By consuming this oil, you are participating in a chemical experiment. The use of genetically modified soy raises immediate red flags regarding glyphosate residues, a systemic weed killer classified by international cancer research agencies as probably carcinogenic. While organic certification guarantees a clean chain of custody, KTC's lack of organic certification leaves the consumer in the dark about what chemical ghosts are haunting the liquid. The contamination fears do not stop at the molecular level. They extend to the physical product itself. Customers expecting the robust advertised steel drums have reported receiving cheap, flimsy plastic containers instead. These are not just aesthetic downgrades, they are hygiene failures. Reports of leaking units suggest a breakdown in quality control, where the barrier between the industrial supply chain and your kitchen floor is breached by shoddy, cost-saving packaging. When a company swaps steel for split plastic, they are signaling exactly how much they value quality and safety. Perhaps the most disturbing revelation is the company's corporate footprint. Watchdogs have flagged the parent company for historical ties to the fossil fuel industry. It creates a grotesque paradox. The same industrial machinery that drills for crude oil is financially linked to the wholesome oil you use to fry your children's chips. It reinforces the uncomfortable truth that KTC operates less like a food producer and more like a petrochemical refinery. This is a mass-produced industrial lubricant masquerading as food. It scores consistently low on ethical ratings because it prioritizes volume over safety and genetic modification over natural purity. When you buy KTC, you are not buying a premium ingredient. You are buying the byproduct of an aggressive industrial system that views your health as a secondary concern to its bottom line. Number 7. Crisp and dry vegetable oil. The label claims 100% rapeseed oil. Lab tests reveal dimethylpolosiloxane, a silicone used in industrial sealants. The front of the bottle declares 100% rapeseed oil, implying a product of singular natural purity. But this claim is a lie by omission. If you turn the bottle around and squint at the fine print, you will find the truth. This pure oil is laced with dimethylpolosiloxane. This is not food. It is a silicone-based industrial polymer used in polishes, sealants, and lubricants. In crisp and dry, it serves as an anti-foaming agent. Its presence reveals the manufacturer's dark secret. They know this oil is chemically unsuited for the job they are selling it for. They add silicone to the liquid just to stop it from foaming and degrading visibly when you heat it. They are masking the oil's distress signals with plastic. The deception deepens with their primary marketing hook, lower in saturated fat than olive oil. That statement is chemically true, but biologically disastrous. They are relying on outdated nutritional science to trick you. Saturated fat is chemically stable. Their molecular bonds are strong, meaning they can withstand the heat of a frying pan without breaking apart. Rapeseed oil, however, is primarily polyunsaturated. Its bonds are weak and fragile. By boasting about low saturated fat, Crisp and Dry is bragging about its own instability. When you follow the brand's name and use this product to make food crisp and dry at high temperatures, you are subjecting these fragile fats to thermal violence. They do not just get hot, they oxidize. They turn rancid inside the pan, generating lipid peroxides and toxic aldehydes before the food even touches your plate. The brand name itself is the most dangerous element. Crisp and Dry reads like an instruction. It explicitly encourages deep frying and high-heat cooking. It invites the consumer to push the oil to its absolute thermal limit, the exact environment where rapeseed oil becomes toxic. You are being sold a product that claims to be healthier than olive oil, yet becomes a pro-inflammatory, cell-damaging hazard the moment you use it as directed. It is the ultimate betrayal. If this bottle is in your pantry, it belongs in the bin. Did you know the oil frying your dinner might be chemically closer to a sealant than food? These brands bank on your ignorance to protect their margins while risking your health. Check your cupboards right now. If you own any of these bottles, will you keep using them? Or are they going straight in the bin? Let us know below. Subscribe to Brit Food Watch for the uncomfortable truths the industry tries to hide. Your health depends on it.